start? Why did you start to act? Or when did you start?
I can remember it as a real young child, I guess. My mother took me to the movies, and I would come home, and I found I acted out all the parts that day. I guess I was a sort of lonely child. I was an only child, so I was alone, and it was a way of communicating with, I guess, the adults around me, and I don't know, and in school I found that it was a natural thing for me to do.
So you grew up in a tough neighborhood, it wasn't?
I would say it was, yeah, in some ways it was.
Are you tough?
Well, I don't know what that means. I wouldn't, tough? Do I look tough? I guess, I don't know, tough getting through life. You gotta be tough, I guess. We're all tough. It's, how do you mean tough?
Cope. At coping, that's what
toughness, I think what comes from toughness is because you're trying to cover something, isn't it, usually? A certain sensitivity, or a certain vulnerability. That's toughness. I wouldn't know if I am or not.
Are you vulnerable?
You'd have to. I wouldn't know that either. I would imagine I am.
How good are you at, or comfortable are you at looking inside yourself and saying, well, I'm this and I'm that? And
well, I'm doing it now. That's the first time in a long time. There's a certain comfort in playing a character, like I once said, because with a character sometimes you have a real sense of if it's working for you. You know, if you've got it in a way, you know who you are, where you've been, why you've been there, and what you're going to do, and why you're doing it. Where in life sometimes it's hard to have that. You know what I mean? Because I was always acting, in a sense, being the clown or being the interpreter or the performer.
I don't see you as a clown.
Well, that's what I did the first part of my life, I did only comedy. I know, you see how funny I am? But I did it, yeah.
What kind of things?
Well, I wrote my own reviews and things, and I directed them, and I cast them, and I put them on, and
Where? I mean, professionally?
Yeah.
Where?
I mean, like in
Here?
the village, in some places in the village, yeah.
The little coffee houses?
Little coffee houses. I got a storefront and did it in a storefront and invited people.
How old were you?
I was early 20s, I guess from 23 to 26 I did that. It sort of saved my life at the time because I was, I guess, so depressed and so
now that was that
so unhappy that that anything funny was sort of a
really?
That's a good therapy, to do things that are funny. I mean, I would think I'm always fascinated by people, funny people, because I think it's interesting to be around them too, and watch how they cope.
A young person comes to you and says, Mr. Pacino, what is it? What is acting? What do you tell them?
So what we're doing right now, that's acting. The other thing you do when you're in a play is playing, and I don't really know what that is, quite. I couldn't answer you. It's a lot of things.